Welcome to this special edition of My.NA Cars. Ashwin Berry stepping in for this week. Now, I am at Trans World Cargo, the company that has been responsible for global shipping in Namibia for over 35 years. And today, we're going to be finding out all they're about, from their operations, logistics, to where they go and how they stay safe as they navigate all these routes.
We are so excited to be kickstarting your morning with entertainment.
Everything was happening during this past weekend.
Yes.
Exciting news.
Wow, no, she was killing it already.
In my opinion, I don't see anything wrong with him serving the full term.
As well as keeping you informed on the issues that you need to know happening in and around our country.
I am here with Mr. Marius van Tag, who is the transport manager for Trans World Cargo. How's it going, sir?
Morning, thank you very well. And yourself?
I'm very good. This is a lovely workspace. I see there's a lot going on over here. How long have you been with Trans World?
I'm 15 years now. I'm 15 years with the company. Yeah.
Wow, as transport manager.
That's correct. Yeah. Starting from scratch with transport. Yeah.
Wow. And how's that journey been for you in particular?
Very nice. I'm enjoying it. I mean, I was from after school. I was in the transport industry until now with Trans World Cargo 15 years as well. Yeah.
Wow.
So I like it. And I like what I'm doing. Yeah.
Yes. And how do you feel about how the company has been developing in those years? What it was like 15 years ago and where it is now?
Yeah. I must say, when I'm coming here at Trans World Cargo, we didn't have a lot of trucks. We was using someone else doing trucking.
Okay.
But the last few years we did buy for ourselves a lot for our own trucks. As you see,
Yes.
there's a couple of trucks standing around. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, so tell me about your everyday. You clock into work. What does your day
Yeah.
look like?
My daily job is to come in and see what I'm doing. I see every morning where's all the truck is on the tracking, where's all the trucks is heading to, and then I'm planning for the truck if they're gonna offloading, and then I'm planning the next load where they're gonna load.
All right.
So that's my daily job, to see that the trucks is on the road.
Okay.
And they don't stand still there.
All right. And around how many countries do you reach?
We are most of the southern countries we are. Angola we are big. Zambia we are big. DRC with all the copper. We transport all the copper from Zambia to Walvis Bay to our branch.
Wow.
And then we export it from there. Zimbabwe we're doing well. Malawi, South Africa, yeah.
All right.
Most of the southern countries we
Most
do.
of the southern countries.
That's right,
That's
yeah.
really great. And what's some of the work that you're currently handling?
I think our biggest transport job now is we're doing chemicals from Walvis Bay to Zambia.
Yes.
And from there we transfer copper back to Walvis Bay again.
Oh, wow.
I think that's our biggest. And then our biggest, the next one is we're doing empty bottles from Luanda
Okay.
to Namibia breweries.
All right.
And I think that's also one of our biggest transporters.
Okay, so you're working with Namibia breweries as well.
That's all, and you will also see that the color that our drivers, the documentary we were doing is from that time they was driving to Angola and back.
All right. All right. No, that's very, very incredible. And what do you see in the future of Trans World Cargo?
I think we're still growing because there's 6 more trucks coming. I think it's in some time next month. We already ordered 6 new trailers.
Wow.
So we expand every day. Every day we did, yeah.
Are there any difficulties that you face in this job?
I think now Namibia is starting to getting great now. It's because our roads is so good, and I mean our Namport is actually good. So most of the clients who was using Dar es Salaam from China
Yes.
is using our port now to import stuff, and that's why we are transporting from Namport to Zambia.
Is it sometimes difficult?
Sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes we're waiting a day or two to loading in Namport, but it is most of the time it's a little bit documents of a lot of trucks.
Yes.
And same on the borders. If you're going to Angola, Zambia, Even South Africa, there's a lot of trucks using the borders.
Yes.
And so the trucks is standing a couple of days just waiting to enter to another country.
All right.
But but most of the time, I think we, as Namibia, we do have a grateful country
Okay.
to doing transport in here.
All right. And you mentioned the documentary. Just briefly tell us
Yeah.
what that's about.
The documentary is we're starting to doing transport to Luanda. So we did take a couple of trucks. Nakale is the one driver, and they was on a firm crew was onto the truck, and what they're doing every day, standing on the borders, what they eat on the road,
Wow.
where they sleep, how
Yes.
safe it is, the loading point at that side.
Wow.
In Luanda, and then drive all the way back till here. That's
Wow.
that's
the
basically
full journey
yeah.
about their lives.
And actually the first trip, the very first trip I was doing together with the drivers. I was with
Oh,
one
you're
truck.
with them. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I was
nice.
driving myself up to Luanda,
Yes.
loading bottles, and I will come back on my
Yeah.
first trip. Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. You know, it's
Yeah.
very nice to document the lives of, of truckers and these people who make sure that our society moves smoothly.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you very much, Marius. He has been the
was-
transport manager here for 15 years.
Yes, thank you very much.
All right.
Pleasure. Thank you.
I'm now talking to Mercia Hovais, who is the transport and logistics manager right here at Trans World Cargo. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, I'm good. So, how long have you been with Trans World Cargo?
I've been with Transport for 5 years now.
Okay. And how's it for you?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I love the environment. I love what I do.
All right.
I enjoy what I do.
Tell us about what you do.
Okay, basically I focus on the local transport.
Okay.
I do all transport within Namibia. I handle our equipment like the side loader, the cranes. That's what I operate. That's what I basically work with, and then just local transport from Walvis Bay to Windhoek.
You must be very busy, I imagine.
Yes, it is quite busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know how much cargo you handle around about in a week, for example?
Like last week, I handled about 60 containers.
Wow.
Which I had to finish within a week. So yeah, it can get quite hectic because
Okay.
you have to get about 10 to 15 trucks per day, which
my
can
goodness.
be challenging. So
Yeah. Let's talk more about the challenges. What are the challenges, around, transport logistics?
okay, challenges that we face is sometimes there are lack of trucks. But then sometimes there are a lot of trucks, so you cannot cater to everyone at the same time.
Okay.
So then sometimes you might give someone work and then the other one is without work. Other challenges might be maybe dealing with difficult drivers, language barriers, and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yes, and this is all locally, and you
Yes,
have all
locally.
corners of Namibia.
Yes, all corners
Oh
of
my
Namibia.
goodness! And how do you feel the direction of the company is going? With regards to how things are managed each time. Do you feel like there will be a time where it gets smoother, or it's just going to keep getting busy and busy, and it's just about adjusting as you go?
The company is growing.
Yes.
So are we as staff. I think I've worked in in transport for about 3 years. So I've also learned skills. You know, it's all about planning and organizing stuff beforehand, so that when it comes to a week where it's busy, you are not stressed.
Yes.
So I think
ahead is key.
planning ahead is key actually.
All
Planning
right.
ahead is key, and then just informing everyone beforehand so that it doesn't come to last minute things and then you're
And no
stressing
backlog,
about it.
of course.
Yeah.
I think backlog is the last thing you
Backlog
can
is
do.
like the worst because now you have to figure it out. Because like I said, we are not the only people doing transport. There are also other companies. So it might be that the person you want to book might be booked by someone else or
I
something.
see. And where do you see the future of Transworld Cargo?
Transcargo is big.
Yeah.
It's a big company. It's gonna keep on growing. We are getting big volumes at the time. We have big clients, so it is gonna keep growing. We have in the past 2 years, we got about 8 new fleet.
Wow.
So we are definitely growing.
All right. And if I'm to ask you, what is the one thing that makes you proudest to work with Transworld Cargo? What would it be?
What makes me the proudest? I would say the working environment, the consideration, and the ability for them to teach you and allow you to grow. Because I came straight out of high school,
All right.
started studying, and then I started working. So basically, they taught me everything I know now.
Alright.
So there is they give an opportunity. That's what I love about transport. They give you the opportunity to grow and to become your better self.
All right, so I've been talking to Ms. Hovais, who is the Transport and Logistics Manager, the one who makes sure that all the puzzle pieces fit exactly in place every single week.
I'm definitely not your usual passenger princess, but I promise you a fun journey. All you have to do is sit back, relax, fasten your seatbelt, and enjoy the ride. Today, I'll be giving you an exclusive on a vehicle known as the Leaf, which, as the name suggests, is not green in color, but in environmental impact. Today, I am joined by Master Jens Deng from the Electronic Vehicle Namibia, and he's going to tell us more about this vehicle and why you and I need to get ourselves one. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. Yeah, so basically the thing is we're trying to convince people that it's you know, opposite of what the media makes out to. They don't catch fire immediately when you charge somewhere or park it in your garage or whatever. So statistically, an electric vehicle is the least likely to catch fire. Hybrids 34 times more likely, and a combustion engine vehicle is 14 times more likely to catch fire than an EV. But because it's such a big sensation when an electric vehicle catches fire, it's all over the media. Normal vehicle fires don't get media coverage.
Awesome. I love the fact that you started, you know, with debunking some misinformation.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about, you know, the car itself. What stands out the most to you in terms of maybe, you know, acceleration and handling?
Okay, so electric motors have maximum torque at 0 RPM. So it's immediate. Like when you put the accelerator. I mean, I'm driving an Eco now, so I'll switch to a normal mode just now. Eco, obviously, you switch on because you want to try and get as much out of the battery as possible in terms of range. Yeah, so we call it the fun spoiler button. So basically, if you switch the Eco off, you will see. So there's a little green light that comes on when you switch it on. So basically, without the Eco, and I mean, I'm not flooring it now, it's just... And that's the other thing is you'll see electric vehicles have got a very low center of gravity, so the road holding is exceptionally good. Acceleration is I mean, it's
smooth. I feel.
Yeah, it's smooth. There's no gear changes because the electric motor itself has only got 3 moving parts, and then it goes through a constant mesh gearbox, which then drives straight to the wheels. So there's no gear changes or anything like that. So that's what makes it so rapid to accelerate.
Okay. I mean, this next question I'm asking because maybe our viewers wouldn't know, because I experienced it now. I know how quickly it can accelerate, perhaps from 0 to 60 kilometers per hour. But maybe you can just talk to us about the difference between this, how this vehicle accelerates, and other EVs in the same class as this one.
Most of your production models are not geared for performance as such. I mean, the performance that you felt now is a byproduct of the electric motor. So it's not like that you have to tune this thing specially to make it go like this. This is a standard production model, and it's really quick. A Tesla has got a sport mode. Some of the cars have got sport modes and things like that, where your acceleration is much stronger. But generally, EVs are built to get as much range out of the battery as possible, and that's what their general purpose is, to allow you to drive economically, even on electricity.
Yeah. Okay, so does this vehicle offer regenerative braking? How does it feel when you are driving? And how can it help increase the range or control while you're on the road?
So basically, you don't use your brakes as much as on a normal car because of the regenerative braking. So you can switch between normal drive mode and B, which gives more power back to the battery. So B is a stronger regen. I'll show you the difference now. So basically, if I tap off the accelerator now, you'll see it immediately. I'm not pressing the brakes, so it just slows down. And then if I just switch it to drive, and it doesn't slow down as much. So you can select how much regen you want to prolong your range. So if you give it more regen, obviously you'll get a better range because there's more power going back into the battery.
Awesome stuff. So how can you then describe the car suspension system handles bump, or how the car handles bumps and rough roads? Does it provide a smooth and comfortable ride compared to other cars maybe that you have driven before, or would you pick this system over the rest?
Basically, the car has got a standard suspension like most other cars. The weight on an electric vehicle is obviously a little bit more due to the big battery. But generally speaking, this thing weighs around about the same thing as what a Toyota Prius does, because the Prius has got a petrol drivetrain and an electric motor, and it also has a battery. So there's basically duplication of the whole system. That's why they're so heavy and complex.
Yeah.
But generally, the handling is primarily due to its very centered, low center of gravity. So basically, the battery pack sits under our seats here, and that's the center. So it's nicely spaced between the two axles, and also very low. So that's what makes the handling good. And generally, to get better range, you drive with harder tire pressures, but it's got the same sort of suspension as any other petrol vehicle, and so you would feel the bumps as you would with any other car.
Okay.
The even off-road, it's pretty much like any other petrol or diesel car.
Okay. Master Denk, I think a question that everyone who's fascinated with electric vehicles that arises is about how long does it take to charge, both at home or at the charging station? Do I need to charge it overnight while I'm sleeping and then I can drive the next morning, or how does it work?
So basically, most people, about 93% of charging happens at home. So you plug it into a normal 3-pin wall socket, and like for instance, this one's got a 40 kilowatt hour battery, and it would take, if I drove it completely empty, it would take between 10 and 12 hours to charge from a normal socket. So I plug it in at night at 7, next morning at 7 it's full. The public charger at Grove Mall is basically a fast charger, so it converts the power to DC before it gets to the vehicle and supplies the battery directly, whereas your home charger goes through a power filtering unit,
Yeah.
which then supplies the vehicle, and the vehicle then changes AC to DC to charge the battery. And that's why it's a little bit slower, also because obviously the socket is limited with the with the amount of power that it can produce
Yeah.
or supply to the vehicle. So the fast charging station works off 3-phase power, which obviously it can supply more power at once. And so typically at a fast charger from 20 to 80% takes about 20 minutes. And then the 80 to 100 takes 40 minutes to another hour on top of that. So practically with our level 2 or 3 charger,
Yeah.
it would take about 1.5 hours roughly to charge it to full from empty on the fast charger.
Okay. And the lifespan after I've charged, how long would I drive? Would I drive from here to Katima without needing to charge
no,
again?
unfortunately not. So batteries are basically, modern batteries are basically only about 35 years in production, lithium
Yeah.
batteries, and their cost, that's one of the reasons why their costs are just plummeting, because more and more people are getting into the market, and so that's why the prices of batteries are coming down, and therefore also the price of the electric vehicles, because the bulk of the cost of an EV is the battery.
Yeah.
So as the prices of batteries and manufacturing them comes down, so the price of the vehicles will come down.
All right. While we are talking about, the market and the prices of these batteries, are there any innovative features for charging, maybe such as wireless charging or solar roof panels for added energy?
Well, if you have solar at home and
Yeah.
you've got about a 5 kilowatt inverter, you'd be able to charge the car from solar at home. And so one of the features that most electric cars have is a timer, which allows you to set the time. So if you didn't drive the battery completely empty, you set the timer,
Yeah.
and then during the course of getting home and then plugging it in to charge, you get you can set the time. So you can say, okay, it must start charging at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock or whatever it is
Yeah.
in the morning. Let's say you've only got 4 hours to charge. The other thing is one of the good features of an electric vehicle is the climate control timer. So basically, if you live in an area that's really, really hot early in the morning already, you would set your timer, your climate control timer, for, like, let's say you leave to work at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Let's say, for instance, and your car's parked in the sun. So instead of drawing power from the main battery, it would draw from the grid, and it would then basically precondition the car to whatever. So even in the winter,
Yeah.
let's say it's very cold when you leave in the morning, like 6 o'clock. Let's say you leave 6 o'clock for work in the morning. You could set it to say, okay, I want it nice and toasty inside the car, 25 or 28 degrees or whatever it may be. You preset it. When you get to the car at the desired time, it's already preconditioned, and it hasn't taken the power out of the battery. It's taken it out of the grid so that your range is extended.
Okay, let's say I'm on the road and my battery is flat. How easy is it for me to find a charging station?
Currently in Namibia, it's still a little bit limited, because there's only a handful of electric vehicle chargers around.
Yeah.
So BMW's got one, but that's for the German models with the CCS2 charger. Mercedes has got a CHAdeMO and CCS2 charger, and then obviously we've got CCS and CHAdeMO here.
Okay, can you walk us through the tech features, of the vehicles, like the infotainment system, maybe the navigation, driver assist features, and so forth and so on?
So the driver assist features, it's got quite a few features. So it's got this particular one has got auto park. So basically, if I drove into like this parking, for instance,
Yeah.
I select auto park and press and hold this button down, And then on the screen, it will identify a or a bunch of parking spots based on the white lines. And then you click on the parking space that you want to go into, and you just let go of the steering and the brakes,
Oh,
and the car
nice.
just parks itself. So that's one of the features it has. The rest of it's got standard aircon like most other cars have. Also it's got automatic emergency braking, so let's say somebody runs into the road and you're not paying attention, the car will brake by itself.
Oh, nice.
Also when you're parking, it's besides the park distance control, it's also got like auto braking, so when you get too close to something, the car will stop by itself, so that you avoid colliding with something even in your parking.
So it has like a sensor. It senses.
Yes, it
stuff.
uses all the sensors on the car. So there's sensors built into the bumper. There's a camera up here. There's a camera at the back. So basically, it'll also warn you if a car comes up very fast behind you. It'll alert you that somebody's about to smash into you from the back.
Oh, nice.
Forward collision warning. It's got lane departure warning, and then it's got a ProPilot version of this car, which will basically it's called lane keep assist. So basically, if you're on the highway and the lines are nice and clear, the car will automatically keep between the lines where you've been driving.
Yeah.
So those are some of the sort of more modern features that it has, and this is a 2017 model, so the new ones have got really lots of tech built into them.
Beautiful, Master Deng. Thank you so much
You're welcome.
for this conversation. I've learned so much about cars. Perhaps I'll get myself the 2025 version, the latest.
Yes, the new Leaf is coming. It's been much anticipated, so I'm hoping that will kind of like
transform our
up
experiences.
the game a little bit
Yeah.
in terms of Nissan's offerings.
Awesome stuff. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So that's been My.NA Cars at Transworld Cargo, the people who have been making sure your cargo gets where it needs to go locally, internationally for over 35 years. As for me, I am going to try and get over my fear of heights. See you next week.